So there's been an update to this story from several years ago about a med spa in New Mexico with several people who contracted HIV having a vampire facial. So the affected patients all had the same procedure called the vampire facial. And this is actually a trademark term, so most of us don't use this terminology, but it's just microneedling with PRP. And there's two components to this procedure. The first component is the PRP. So we draw your blood and spin it in a centrifuge in order to remove the red blood cells and get that PRP. It looks like a thin yellow liquid if you've ever seen it done. The second component is the actual microneedling, where we have a small device with tiny needles on it, and the needles go in and out of the skin. The head with the needles on the microneedling device is sterile and single use only. In 2018, the med spa was investigated and shut down by the public health department because at that time they identified unsafe practices, and they recommended that people who had procedures done at this med spa were tested for blood-borne pathogens such as hepatitis B, C, and HIV. 2 prior patients had contracted HIV from this facility, and now a third additional patient. It's unclear from the reports exactly how they were able to pass HIV to multiple patients, but my suspicion based off of their pricing alone is that they were reusing disposable tips on their microneedling device that were meant to be single use only. The price of this procedure in the news reports was $100, and in contrast, the price at my practice is $1,200. The cost to me to purchase the microneedling tip and the tube that's used for PRP are $275 per patient, and they were charging less than half of this total. Last fall, the owner of the med spa, you can see right here, was convicted of 5 felony counts. She pled guilty to all 5, one of which was practicing medicine without a license, and in October, she was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. So this is a horrible and tragic situation for these 3 individuals. If you are someone who had a procedure at this VIP med spa in New Mexico during that time period in 2018, it is so important that you go in and get tested for hepatitis B, C, and HIV, even if you have been tested and your testing was negative before. I just want to finish up by again reminding people that it is so important to verify the credentials of the practitioner doing a procedure on you. You deserve to know who these people are, what their training is, and make sure that they are the right person to do the procedure. And I just also want to remind you that having a procedure done that is much cheaper than everywhere else is always a red flag. These type of places are always cutting corners, and you could pay for it with your life.